am now.
I do now.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I know a little bit about the Korean budget.
Yeah, I know enough.
Somewhat aware of it. I think it makes no sense whatsoever to even consider that, but I guess being president, he has the right to bring it to the table. But I see no benefit whatsoever other than his own.
I'm aware of some of the aspects of it, not the full plan. So I know some things.
Just a little bit.
I am.
I am aware of it to a certain extent. I know that, well, a fine majority of the, I should say, different agencies that we have, governmental agencies, pretty much everything we have, were all slashed, while a very few incentives like national defense, and a few other agencies got a spike in it. So I'm a little bit aware of it.
I think most of the budget seems like it's going to defense. He's very into like eliminated terrorism, so I'm thinking it's gonna be some, I guess, conflict.
It's gonna negatively affect it. It's so much that we're losing budget for. So many things that we kind of need to continue this country, and it's just being eliminated. It's gonna hurt us in the long run because we won't be able to keep up with a lot of things. We won't be able to do as many of the things we have in the past with all the budget cuts.
Global relationships. I don't know how it's going to affect global relationships because, quite frankly, I do believe that other countries do not care for Trump or America at this point. However, this is going to make America worse. America will never be great ever again.
In the end, I feel like it's going to hurt our global relationships. Right now, we're repairing a lot of relationships with a lot of other countries, and right now, cutting budgets, it will hurt.
Well, let's kind of talk about why he bombed Syria. Like, he bombed Syria, which kind of spoke to the world when he did that. It already disrupted that relationship without even doing anything about money. He already destroyed that relationship, and then when you go to the United Nations, like, how do you represent our nation as a U.S. ambassador? Like, how can you speak and how can you represent our nation by allowing our president to do all of these budget cuts? It's making us seem like we're a weaker country. Not even to talk about power of the nations, but just to show that we're a weaker country, but show that we can be toyed and played with. And that's not right.
Globally, I think it will affect everybody because education isn't just on a United States level. We have people from all ethnicities and different backgrounds that participate in those programs.
From the ones that I know, it definitely will affect teachers in education, and it will affect the military because they're getting more funding again. And I believe it will also affect areas like PBS because he'll cut back on the fine arts.
The money's gonna be a lot tighter now, so that means everyone's not gonna be able to get their fair budget that they want, and some departments they're gonna eventually get cut out all the way.
I think it's not going to go well. I don't understand why it's happening like this or why this guy wants to do this, but I don't think it's going to go too well.
It'll definitely affect it. I would say my concern is it'll probably affect our relationship with China much more than anything else, because you know how Donald Trump said he has like a hard on for China for some reason. I don't know what it is. Am I allowed to say that? Okay, good. It's very weird. Like I already know that we owe China nearly trillions of dollars just for borrowing money just to buy more oil and to spend money on the war back during the Bush administration, and we haven't really got out of that hole yet. And I just think doing this, it'll definitely put a halt in our finances a whole lot more. I would say it would make it recession-esque if everything goes into plan. Like if we actually do go to war and everything, then the budget will get a little fidgety. But I would say it'll probably create a domino effect throughout. I would say China will probably be the first. Definitely countries within the European Union or whatnot, because they have been dealing with their own situations. I mean, I don't know. It's just like a whole imperialistic thing just going across the entire world.
Anybody that's in defenses, whether it's, I guess, globally or internally in the U.S.
I would say it would be if anyone, probably the upper class, thing as lower class, like district force communities, just not getting not getting enough money as they had than before. So yeah, I would say upper class.
Trump and big business and the military.
Big business owners, like 1%, like everyone says, they're going to be the ones benefiting, and the budget cuts really hurts. It hurts children, women, minorities, and just education in general.
The Trump thinks he would benefit off of it. I don't understand how nobody would benefit, to be honest. Like, everybody's taking a loss at some point. The rich, they say the rich do the things to get richer and the poor do things to get poor, but in all actuality, we're taking from the rich as well. Like, everybody needs money. Everybody needs to circulate money from the rich to the poor.
Probably his party, his people, people in his organizations who are the ones footing the bill, I guess, so to speak. The ones who create these organizations that fund these programs. If they don't have these programs, then they get to pocket the money and take that money and use it for other things that they choose to use it for. That's what I think.
Definitely the military, because he seems to be wanting to spike a lot of their reinforcements up. But I don't think, to me, I don't feel anything other than that will benefit, other than the military and maybe, the corporations, the big corporations in America.
Well, the president, really.
I don't think anybody's going to benefit from this.
The same people who always have been benefiting after all these changes. I mean, it's not really you or me or anybody else. I mean, honestly, black or white doesn't even make the difference right now. We live in a capitalistic society. It's just people that's just making money. The people that have the local congressmen. I wouldn't say local congressmen. Of course, Donald Trump himself. Big business. Of course, big business always have their hands in everything that we do here. But if it's pretty much the middle working class, nah. We'll actually probably receive a lot more. What is it called? The opposite of benefit. A pro. We'll probably receive a lot more cons and much more than anything else.
Education, energy organizations, art organizations, all those will suffer.
Lower class citizens, middle class citizens, especially minority and yeah, probably that would be it. Minority and lower class citizens.
Poor working class people of all races, students, pretty much anyone who isn't rich and already has money.
A lot of people who are going to suffer are going to be minorities, women, and children, and just people in the public school education system.
Everyone. If you ever, it's just like a job. So when you need employees to work, i.e., poor people, to work, so the rich can make their money. If you mess up the poor people's money, if you mess up the poor people's lives, they're not going to want to work. So then the rich can't get richer. So if you're trying to make the poor poorer, how can the rich get richer if there's no benefit off of the labor?
The kids. Of most people of all is going to be the kids. I mean, these people in these work studies, they do these work studies because they have no other options. So if you take that away from a person, then what other option do they have? That's the only option they have. So I think people that are going to suffer is going to be mostly the people who were dependent on it, and the kids.
Definitely education, so teachers, even colleges, I would probably like to make a stretch that way. And definitely PBS and the broadcast stations, which to me hits home because that's part of my major.
Everyone is getting cut out of it. Unemployment, people losing their jobs.
I think everybody will suffer.
We will. I mean, it's always brought down on the people, really. I mean, if you look at it, like at the recession thing, pretty much how a lot of people will suffer. Particularly, I'm going to speak into African Americans. If you look into African American communities or whatnot, and how the recession never really left the African American communities, how it's still being affected there. I mean, at the end of the day, the working class will always going to suffer because of stupid, irrational judgments.
I'm not too sure.
While the budget cuts, it's loads of ways it can just affect us. With it targeting some of the arts and the sciences and a lot of things that we use to help our country, especially with stuff like global warming or climate control and any research dealing with that. I would say it's really hurting it. It's gonna hurt us in the long run.
Well, the military, I guess the military will get stronger, but other than that, the cost of education will be too much for people to bear. So I think less people will be able to get educated.
Well, when education suffers, there's going to be a higher dropout rate when you make it harder for students to get a free education. Less students are going to go to college, which will mean less students will go to college, which will mean less jobs offered to minorities. And it's just the middle and lower class is going to suffer. It's going to make that gap between the middle, lower class and the upper class even wider.
We will be less of a people. It's not necessarily about the nation itself as far as like the Constitution, as far as like the laws, but it just makes us less of a people. Like he's pretty much degrading our nation through its people.
It could mess up a lot. It could do damage to enrollment, to the population of enrollment as far as the number of people who go to school. Education-wise, it could limit a lot of kids' access to certain information as far as PBS goes, because those shows provide a lot of information.
I think it will affect it because a lot of people support things like we're very pro-military.
Right now, like everyone having a whole lot of opinions about it. Everyone can't agree on one common thing. So right now, we're all just like at odds.
I think it's going to be lots of turmoil, and it's going to be some crazy stuff that's happening in the future. So make sure y'all stay prepared.
In every worst way possible, honestly. I mean, think about it. They cut EPA, they cut NASA, they cut education. They really cut infrastructure. I mean, for God's sakes, cutting infrastructure. I mean, the infrastructure is already bad enough as it is. I mean, it's already, I would say, it's definitely outdated. Definitely needs of improvement and renovation. And if you're already cutting the money for that, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Climate change is absolutely non-existent. I mean, everything is literally changing. It's like I don't know. It's like in a weird way where even though we're moving forward, it's like we just can't really escape the past of America. And it's like all of it is coming back. I mean, for Christ's sakes, Trump is trying to bring back coal, and coal has been dead for Lord knows how long now, and he's trying to bring that back. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.